What's up, everybody? Welcome to All Set, Philly's only best comedy review thing.
That is it.
And I'm not trying to be cute and random. I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
That is our thing. All right, I'm Goetz.
And I'm Seamus Millar.
And
you go. You do.
And today our guest is Marrianne Beltle.
Yay!
One day I'll get it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna respond to this regardless.
Did she not get it right there?
Beltle.
Plus, I don't.
Beltley.
I know I should care.
Something about the TLE in my brain. I don't know what happens, but it happens every time. So anyway.
Well, welcome.
Welcome. Yay. Wait, let's ask strategies, right?
Yeah, ask strategies.
So, what were you thinking going into Philly's Phunniest? What was your game plan?
That this was a mistake.
That's fair.
I started. Sorry, I'm segueing it in a weird way, kind of. I started doing comedy a little over a year ago. Had my first show. Stopped going to open mics entirely, and then took a stand-up class. And then the month from ending that class to Philly's, and then there's a month in between ending that class and then this.
You have the same origin story as me, almost.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Running away.
I took classes first. Was afraid to go to open mics for a while, and then when I went to open mics, I was like, oh, this is actually what it is. Is not fun all the time.
Yeah.
But also fun. I love you guys. It's great.
It's great.
So, whose class did you take?
I took Rachel Fun.
Rachel's. She's great.
Hell
You
yeah.
took Trackmans.
I took Trackman's class.
Okay.
Shout out. Sort of. I don't know what allegiances I have to play to here. Shit.
Everyone teaches great.
Everyone's a good teacher.
Everyone teaches.
Cool. So it was tough getting back into it after that first show. What was the first show?
I was on last June, almost a year ago. I was on Yard Sale Comedy Showcase.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which was great, but my train and my bus were late, and all my friends who were gonna come couldn't come, and I had to play with my boyfriend. And I got there, and Cassandra, who was hosting, was like, "Oh, what plans do you have?" And I was like, "I don't have any." She's like, "Are you working on anything?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Okay, that's fine."
That
she was
doesn't
nice about
matter.
it, but I was like,
Yeah.
It felt very much like it should matter, so I was like, "Great." And then someone said something made a joke about we're all white, and I immediately went up and went, "Hi, I'm not white."
I like it. That's funny.
Yeah, that's
I
really
was also.
fun.
This is also when I started doing open mics. I didn't have notes. I never told the same jokes. I never wrote anything down. I literally got up there. I used to do a joke about my friends asked me if I'm bringing new material to my mic, and I said, "Oh, I don't have any material." Ha ha ha. I didn't have any material.
But for real, there was no material.
There was genuinely nothing.
Wow.
So this time my strategy was write some jokes.
The strategy was
Talk about. I felt do
great.
things I've said a lot. So.
Yo, shout out to everybody who goes to open mics and says, I don't have anything to talk about tonight, but you're going to have to still listen to me for some reason.
Shout-outs.
Yeah.
I
love shout-outs.
That is great. I love the kind of the progression as a comic of when you first start, you're so excited for every show, and you're inviting all your friends, and then your friends bail on every show until you're just so broken that you're like, I just don't give a shit if anyone's there. I'm just gonna go do it and just be, this is what I want to do.
I got some advice. I'm not going to give a shout out because I feel like name dropping.
You can give a shout out.
Doogie Horner. Respect him very much. Yeah, I know. It's a big name. Fuck yeah. I mean, yeah.
He talks to you?
He talked to me at one show where I invited a bunch of people.
Nice.
A bunch of people from my work, and they were all very drunk, and they were very belligerent, and they were to the point where they were ruining shit.
Oh, good.
And he just goes, "Hey man, you're a comic now. Stop fucking inviting people." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. All right."
That's great advice. So I guess that's the point we get to.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you have a lot of? I bring people to Philly's Phunniest before I ask this question. Did you bring a lot of people to?
I invited everyone. I made a Facebook event and invited everyone that I knew, to where a friend of mine I didn't speak to a lot at the time was like, "Are you inviting everyone, or do you want me to come?" And I was like, "I want you to come."
Oh,
and then she came too late to vote. Which is fine.
She did.
That's what your friends do. Yeah,
She
they're like,
showed
"When
up
are you on?"
And also, I was the first person to go up, and she's like, "I must have just missed you." And I was like, "I'll send you the tape." Whenever someone's like, "Oh, I wish I could see your stuff," I'm like, "I have tapes now. I have this show."
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for being annoying about it, because if you're like, "Oh, I want to be there," I'm like, "Great."
It's so funny because no one good asks to see my tape. It's people who can't get to my shows for good reason.
Yeah.
My boss is always like, "When are you gonna put a tape up?" And I'm like, "Never. I don't have tapes. I don't even know what tapes are. They're not going up."
was
But
like, sweet, well, I'm going to still do heroin. So that's what I'm doing tonight.
anyway, yeah, so it's crazy, the people who ask for your tapes. They're never comedy festivals.
Yeah.
And like, it's cool knowing my friends like give a shit. Like, people have been very supportive for some reason, so I've been like, cool, here's my information. But like, if no one cared, then also be fine. Like,
Yeah, that's
doing
perfect.
it underground.
That is
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good way to be.
mentality.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get
get
into
into
it.
Oh boy.
All
I like
right.
to look at my face.
I know.
I love
it's
how
tough,
close
isn't it?
these
Like,
outfits are. I mentioned that before.
looking at yourself. Oh, an error occurred. Well, in the meantime, I'll tell a very embarrassing story. I don't know if this will make it into the
I
thing,
should have
but,
checked this
um,
again.
When I first started out, I was the opposite, where I was so planned out that it was bad. Like, people don't know this because for a long time I didn't go to open mics, so like they missed a lot of the really cringy shit. And I'll say that sets me up for people to be like, no, we didn't miss it.
I remember.
I remember all the cringy shit. But I did this mic in New York like a month after, like I did one comedy class and I did a mic in New York and I had planned out crowd work. Yeah.
You planned crowd work?
I never thought
What
about
was
that.
it? Wait, okay.
It was like, to all the ladies here, and there were no women in the room. It was fucking awful.
Oh
It was.
my
I don't even
God.
remember what the joke was. It was bad. I don't watch that
I love
shit.
it.
Like, I don't go back and watch that shit.
I have to know more.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep making her feel better with your...
Yeah. I used to suck.
It looks like you made it.
All right.
Look at me now at Helium Comedy Club.
We're crushing it here at Helium. Anyway. All right, let's get this John started. You like that?
Hey everybody. I feel like I'm so cute coming out of the side door. Like, I'm your friendly neighbor.
I was here
you
for
guys
this.
Like true crime at
Yeah.
all? Sorry.
I also love true crime, by the way.
This is the first time it's never been lit. The alternative is I'm gonna bomb, and that's just as likely.
Audiences, you were first, right?
I was the first
It
person. My name's
takes
Marrianne. It's spelled with
some-
2 R's
some
and I,
learning.
2 N's and an E because aren't women so complicated?
I love that.
No one's
Dude,
supposed to-
I was
never really tell people that I'm
excited to see you on this
adopted,
because I saw you on
so
something
I
else at
figured
Helium and I thought you were funny.
many people will stop asking
So
me
there you
questions like,
go.
what country are you from? Because it's
And that's where the
Kensington.
compliments end.
You're garbage.
You were so funny. What happened?
You're so confident. For your
Older
first year?
siblings. My sisters
Like-
are about 10 to 15
I no
years
longer
older
care,
than
I
me.
guess.
Oh, is that
Usually
it?
I
people
guess,
find
yeah,
out
yeah.
before I tell them that I'm adopted. So their response is something like, "Oh wow, you were surprised, weren't you?" I was surprised as somebody. You know what they say: one woman's trash is another woman's manifest Catholic guilt.
Does your
I'm
mom eat
also
that joke?
Puerto Rican.
She doesn't know it.
She
doesn't. She knows that I do
Much
comedy, but
like
doesn't know it.
Tarzan was raised by
My dude, you gotta watch my
White
set,
folk.
bro.
All the
Don't.
colors everyone wants me to be.
My sister recently asked if she could
And I
come to
didn't
a
find
comedy
out
show,
till
and I was like,
years
I'll let you
old because
know.
My mom is at a point where she's
and I
with
was telling
friends
a
and she'll
friend
be
about
like,
it,
don't
her
do the
response
lube
to me was
joke.
something like,
Don't do the Tinder
"Oh
joke.
wow,
I'm like, you can't tell me
I
to
like
live my
never
life.
would have
And then I
guessed.
stupidly do
You
it.
don't wear those big ugly hoop earrings, and you're not loud and annoying. You're just brown and you have a big ass. We're not friends anymore. She's still
Is this the friend you were talking about before?
This is a different friend.
People make
She has more than one friend, Meg. Jesus Christ.
I like that joke because some people do ask, like, did it really happen? I'm like,
A
oh,
lot
no,
of them
this
were
is I'm not gonna be
Wow.
like, this really happened, but
there
like,
was one day
yeah,
I was
a lot
working
of
at my
happens
restaurant
near me.
Okay, so
That's
you
good.
pull it up.
I
Yeah.
think that's cool that
And an older
everything
woman
like you
came
say
in
is
and
more or
she
less
was
real.
really,
Because I
like,
feel
kind of
like
connection
we
mentioned.
all
I'm
kind of
just
stretch
sad,
stuff.
oh, why is your
Yeah.
I can stretch a little bit, but I can't be like, this crazy thing happened at the start.
Yeah. I can't act.
I had a couple like lie jokes that I stopped doing because I was like, I feel bad about the fact that this actually didn't happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's part of why
I
I
didn't
was
want to
spending
hurt her
hard
feelings or make her think she hurt my feelings, so I just said,
So I'm glad someone asked if I was pregnant. I heard once.
No, all your bad things.
Distance? Here are specials? And I got fired.
That was very lied.
I recently was getting fitted for a bra in Victoria's Secret because
This is so great. I love this joke because I wrote a joke about Victoria's Secret.
Yeah?
That I thought was so fucking funny. And anytime I told it to women,
wasn't the worst.
they really liked it.
and I
I
went to
wouldn't say
Cotton
it
with
crushed,
her
but,
because with
but
me.
anytime I did
Wow,
it
I'm
at open
comfortable.
mics, it did
But oh my God, I was
poorly.
wow.
And I was so upset, and I was talking to guy comics about it, and they're like, why don't you just write it so that guys and girls get it? And I'm just like, because it's not for guys.
Waiting room.
And then I just stopped telling it.
Where does my fucking dick go, bro?
It's just about like the awkwardness of shopping for a bra, kind of like what you were saying.
Absolutely.
Of just that anxiety. And then like I got a free macaroon at the end of it, which I thought was really unnecessary. But
I don't know what it's like to shop for bras. Well,
it's so scary.
With me, but it's always I don't like it like involved in the process.
yeah.
But you feel like you need to be so pretty, and it's just a bra.
Like grade.
No one ever sees it.
So when someone opens up a message to you saying
Nobody
you
ever
look
sees.
Alright,
do you
whatever.
want to get a drink?
And I talk about wearing like the bra consecutively because sometimes I do that, and
I was
all the
hoping that
guys
when
are
that
like,
woman thought I was pregnant, I looked like a real adult woman.
There's no
But I realized that
You do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you do
Maybe
that.
one day.
Well, I do that. Maybe I'm.
Oh, I know. I don't like to be too open about my like.
This is really good.
sex
It's like
life.
really consistent.
You do have a really good stage presence, man. I think, like, yeah, you have like a.
But I don't feel like that's where I blacked out. I recently forgot all my jokes for the apartment.
That happens.
It was very
You
scary. I'm not
saved
good
it
at cleaning and
so
moving,
good,
it's
though.
kind of
Dude, you know what?
these
That happens to me a lot of the
with,
time,
like,
actually.
like,
Like, well, not.
clothes.
No, no, it happens a lot. I've had that happen a lot actually, where I've been like, I don't know what the next joke is, and it feels like a fucking hour in your head. But unless you told me I mean, like when you were like, here I blacked out, I could tell, but only because you told me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it just looked like you were thinking.
Because it's like 2 seconds in reality, but on stage it feels like you're like, oh shit, there's nothing coming out of my mouth, and I need to keep going, shit, like, you know.
And also,
That's a great tip.
Yeah, I did not understand. That's why I like.
Really?
So when I first did open mic, I didn't see the light. I was afraid
Oh, nice.
So I was terrified that I was gonna get the lights turned off on me. So that's why I like forgot jokes. And that's the only thing I could think of. And I was like, well, you can't finish early, so talk about that weird thing that happened to you in
That's
college.
so funny.
And it usually
Yeah.
does like okay, like that's the first time something awkward happened, like really, really, like painfully awkward happened to me, where I was like, it has to be a joke. That's all I can. Like I have to say it on stage.
That's
Just go
so
make it
funny.
with it.
That is super awkward, yeah. So that actually happened too, the dildo and the lawn.
I genuinely also it was like I took the trash out once, like the one day, left the house without looking at anything, like left in a rush, and then realized that there was a holiday, so that was like a 2-day situation. And then when I noticed, I tried to like quickly gather the garbage and put it like into cans and stuff, and my Uber was watching me like just like try to like hide these magazines and the sex toy and be like, please don't. I'm so sorry. It was you can say it's a little funny.
That's so great. And it's your closer now.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's great, man. I save this. I'd be interested. Let's have you back in 5 years, and I want to see what you think about that. Like,
I'm right here in Helium
no,
Comedy Club.
I mean,
Right here in Helium, yeah.
we have a range of people on the show. It's great. We have people who are like their first year, then we have like Chip who fucking won the goddamn thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
I think for your
That's
first
terrifying.
year though, that's an
Fantastic.
amazing
Yeah.
set.
It didn't feel super bad. Like I wasn't like. My thing going into it was like I wanted to not freak out on stage. Like I didn't want to forget everything and get disqualified. And I didn't.
Right.
I wanted people to, like me to enjoy the people who won, and that's what happened. So I was like,
That's
I
good.
wasn't bummed out about it. So
you
that's
literally
so
did
awesome.
everything you're supposed to do. You did your jokes. You followed the light, and you fucking closed, and people were
Strong.
happy.
You're
and that
strong
was
the
it. You know
whole
what I
way.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's good for.
But this is
That's
also
what we
coming from
validated.
someone who's never gone through it, so don't listen to me. Dude, how'd she do, Meg? Jesus Christ.
I mean, as someone that's a quarterfinal.
Ah, fuck! Get out of
No,
my
thank
house.
you.
I mean, Helium Comedy
We're
Club.
Helium. Anyway, yeah, it's great. And the thing, it makes me so like pukey when people bring up anytime I advance because there's so many factors other than your jokes. I always say like there are so many things out of your control in this contest.
Right.
Advancing is never an indication of the level of funny.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I think not advancing is never, but like advancing is just a cool thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that's cool.
I like that I'm wholeheartedly agreeing. Like, yeah, absolutely, I totally get that. I have never followed the competition.
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel after? Did you bring people?
I
You
did
already
bring
asked
some,
this,
some people did come.
Were they like?
They liked it.
Okay,
I was
cool.
someone right before one of my friends right before I went on was like, so do you ever worry that you're not going to do well in front of all your friends? And I was like, no, I am,
so
buddy.
shitty, yeah.
And they weren't trying to be shitty. It was more that like right afterwards they were like, you're pretty funny. You just need to work on your delivery. And I was like, I didn't fucking ask you for notes. You work in marketing.
Dude,
Tell 'em.
yes.
Tell
They
'em.
weren't trying to be rude, but it was definitely like, oh yeah, that's how I should do this.
I did a show. I was a year into it. I did a show,
and I was walking around in my neighborhood walking a dog. And I had this man come up to me and go, "Hey, saw you at that show the other night. Pretty good. Need to work on your material." And I was so, I feel like he wasn't wrong. I had to work on my material, but I was just like, who the fuck are you? Like, you know, like, oh yeah.
Oh boy.
You're funny because you share memes at work.
You know,
fuck off, everyone else
no,
but
that's
me.
you.
Meme Steve.
But yeah, I do a joke about dicks and about dick size, and even when it does well, like even when it crushes, there is some drunk non-comic who has
A tiny
tags,
ass dick.
a tiny dick, and a ton of tags.
Yeah.
And it is just the most painful thing because you're like, I thought this joke was good, and they're like, ugh, the stuff they say is really gross.
Yeah.
Right? It's, I don't know. It's a bummer.
There was one time after an open mic, and it was other comedians that, like, afterwards they said, like, you're really funny. This part of your joke didn't make sense. And it was in my newer, a little bit, like, in the more recent times I've been doing comedy. I was like, okay, cool. My roommate was with me, and afterwards she was like, who the fuck are those guys to give you notes? Like, it doesn't make sense because it happened to you. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know what to do with this.
Who knows?
Here we are.
So
Yeah.
what do we have lined up?
Yeah.
What do we have lined
Oh,
up?
okay. Time for the segment. Our segment is shout out.
Shout outs!
We're all gonna do this one.
Yeah.
It's where we blame people for getting us into comedy. Do you want to start? Right?
I have several.
Okay.
So, I think my second open mic ever, Rachel Fogletta was the only other woman in the room, and she was on a showcase. And I messaged her and said, you were really funny. And she said, thanks. And then I ended up taking her class, and now I'm back in comedy.
Nice.
She also said in our class, like, hey, you should all do Philly's Funniest. And I thought it was a lottery-based thing. It's why I signed up for it. I was like, maybe I'll get picked. And then it was like, oh, you're in, you paid. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's
so it's
funny.
literally
That was
Rachel
great.
Fogletta's fault that I'm doing this.
Hey, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
What were you gonna say? Was it mean?
No.
Oh, I wanted it to be
Rachel's
mean.
awesome.
She's great. Well
But-
loved.
I don't know.
Weirdo. Anyway, who else is on the list?
Um,
Or do you want to go in a circle?
Oh, I'm supposed to do this too?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, my dad bought me.
Damn it.
What? Your dad got
I was
you
gonna
comedy?
I was gonna say Seamus's dad too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He bought
sorry.
you comedy class lessons or
Did
whatever.
he really?
It
Your
was.
dad
It was
bought you-
after I graduated college. I had nothing going on. He was like, "People told you you're funny. You should do stand up." And I was
He's
like,
the best.
"Sure." Yeah.
No? Alright. Well,
He's all right. 7 out of 10 rating for my father. No, he's
7 out of 10.
He's great.
Didn't make finals.
He didn't advance.
What?
He
Yeah,
didn't
no, he didn't
advance.
advance. No, my dad would never advance in Philly's Funniest. If anything, he'll tell me a joke is not funny, and then I know that it's funny. So that's how he.
amazing.
He's like, stop doing that thing about the homeless person blowing you, and I'm like, don't tell me what you're my dad, brother. Sorry.
You're weird. You're alright. Well, I would blame my dad too. There's like this really funny story about and I've told Dan this, but like when I was he would pick on me my whole life. And it was just playful, like we thought we were joking and like super quick back and forth. And then I got to like first grade and I started doing it to the other kids. And this teacher was like, Megan, you're being mean. And I was like, I'm just fooling with them. And she's like, no, what you're doing is being mean to them. And then that's how I learned that my dad is mean to me. I thought we were just fooling around.
no.
But like, no,
That's
he's just mean. So I blame my dad. And definitely, I went to Penn State. I started there. And there was one kid, Andrew Reskovich, shout outs. He did stand up and he convinced me to do it also. Yeah,
That's
just some
good.
random kid.
And we know that Penn State is full of good people.
Oh, he's good. I'm good. I wanted to get every time I bring it up. Every time.
We are Penn State.
Oh boy, I'll kill you.
They just flip a truck.
I'm out. No.
Anyway, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks
really
for having me,
appreciate it.
folks. Anytime.
Yeah.
Congratulations on what was a great set.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I made it through. I didn't die.
yeah, you
Now I'm
did.
haunting